there. I didn't see if we can find it.
I found it.
Quick on the draw.
When it matters.
Did you like your parents watch westerns back in the day? Was that a big thing in the household?
No.
But it would, but
Well,
you know, it was like it was prominent back then, right? Like,
let me correct this to say, like, so the two shows that my dad watched that I hated was MASH.
MASH.
Yeah, it was like the Vietnam medical tent show.
Yeah,
And then,
I remember MASH.
yeah, then the other one was Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie, which is
It has a little bit. That's why I kind of revised
it
that.
got a western
like,
feel to
It's
it.
definitely got like some western vibes, but
Yeah.
not in the like the saloons.
No,
and
no,
cattle rustling and stuff like that.
It was just taking place in that time frame, so you get a
Yeah.
little bit as the show progresses. But
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so those were the two shows, but
And those two shows, I definitely hate it.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely hate it. Like I said, because my granddad used to watch all that stuff.
Now, did you have cable?
No,
Yeah. See,
not
I didn't.
until I was a teenager.
I didn't have it till my junior year of high school.
Yeah, same with me.
And so like that's the thing. Like you had those network programs, and if your dad wanted to watch one, like you're kind of hosed. Like that's
no,
what
it's
we're
nothing you
watching.
could do. It's nothing. And we had one TV in the house,
Yeah.
and so growing up, the whole struggle was like my mom and my dad, and it's like she knew not to bother him on NFL Sunday, whenever there's games on.
Okay.
But then outside of that, there's a struggle because then it's like it's almost like he gets to hog the TV because you got the sports, and then he has some shows he likes to watch. They don't like to watch the same thing.
yeah. Yeah.
Then the kids, we want to watch cartoons, so it's like So eventually, what he did was he bought an extra TV just for her to watch, right?
Okay,
And
okay.
so she primarily stayed in the room, and then it's just dad and the kids. We fight for TV space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we had like at our house, like grew up in Connecticut, and so we'd have the one TV like in the main living room, which we'd keep like in the winter, you'd keep the heat on up there. We had a basement. There was a TV down there, but like at a certain point in the day, my mom wouldn't want to run heat in both spots.
Yeah.
So like everybody had to go upstairs and just be there, or you could like really tough it out and freeze your ass off and watch in the basement. And you really had to care about that program if you were gonna do that.
Right. Exactly.
So that was crazy times, man. Now like everybody's got a TV in their room and can watch their phone. or,
TV,
like,
phone,
Yeah.
laptop.
Yeah.
That's no problems.
None at all.
Oh man. Let's see here. I'm putting this on social medias.
Yes. Spreading the good word.
Who says we don't do our part? I had so Treese was that's like I said, she was talking about that topic on the IG Live,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, so we're gonna talk about it on the show tonight, and I'm gonna steal your topic and talk about it on the show tonight, but I'll give you a call, and she was like, oh, you guys gotta pay me, you're always stealing my ideas. And I was like, and she was like,
You've had one good idea your whole life.
and she was like, you guys owe me some money for it. At least give me 10%. And I was like, all my 10% goes to tithes and offering.
Mine doesn't, but it ain't gonna go to her.
Take that up with the man above.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want 10%. What are you, the church? The church of bullshit? Oh man.
I'm watching this show. It's an old show, but new to me. It's
Yeah.
called Misfits. I show
I
you
feel
what
like I heard of that.
I show you wouldn't like. And
You got a good feel for what I like and what I like.
yeah,
on
for sure.
Trespassing.
Once I explain, you'll be like, oh yeah, shit, no. So it's like young teenagers, 18 to 20 or whatever. They get a bad storm comes to the city, and they all get these like quirky, weird superpowers.
Oh yeah, I'm out. Check, please.
So they all get these superpowers, And so at first it's just them. So they're going through their storylines and how they're dealing with it.
Yeah.
And then they start to realize and notice that some people throughout the city have them too, because it was a storm, right? So whoever was outside received these powers.
Right.
And then there's this guy who he actually was a preacher or a minister or whatever.
Yeah.
And he gets these powers, and he starts calling himself Jesus. And so what his power is, he can pull stuff to him or whatever that is called. And so he's doing these things outside, and people are calling them miracles.
Okay.
But what he's doing is he's just telling everybody, like, if you want to make it to heaven, you need to donate your money. and he's racking up money from everybody. And then a guy came with like some change. He's like, this is all I have, Jesus, please, And he's like, do you want to make it to heaven or not? This is what this comes down to. Do you want to make it to heaven or not? Because this is not enough.
That's pretty much religion for you. That's why I'm an atheist.
Oh man.
Yeah, there you go.
Who is this?
Keeping it real. T.
What's up, T?
Did you ever watch the show Swagger?
Yeah.
I just finished. I plowed through it this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Plow through. That's a different.
Well, I started watching maybe Thursday,
Yeah.
and I finished all 2 seasons by Monday night. So I don't know what you want to call that, but I went with plowed through. You got something more clever.
No. There's some people watching that knows all about plowing through stuff.
For sure.
No. Swagger's a good show though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man.
It's a solid show.
There's always some just weird stuff with the basketball.
Yeah.
Like this guy's the best player in the DMV,
Mm-hmm.
and and he's continues to be having success, but somehow in his senior year somebody finally got concerned that he's not a great shooter. What the fuck are we doing? and again, prior to that, I'm not he was not a shooter, but throughout the early season 1 and most of season 2, he didn't have any problems hitting jump shots.
No.
That was part of his game. He hit plenty of big shots.
And
suddenly it's he can't shoot. I hate shit like that.
Well, it was because he had ended up missing that one big shot to end the game.
Right. Then you're potentially a choker. It's not that you can't
It's not
shoot.
that you can't shoot.
Now suddenly you're shooting 20% from 3-point range. It's dumb. I just can't stand that stuff.
No.
It's please be true to the game.
Yeah. No,
and then the other thing that was very disappointing was the coach lost to the headmaster.
Yeah.
In 1-on-1. The headmaster was a dork.
Yeah.
How do you lose that 1-on-1? I mean, you're a D1 caliber guy. I know you're a little older, a little fatter.
Right.
But D-Wash isn't losing to the fucking headmaster at Trinity Prep right now.
Absolutely
1-on-1.
not.
That was insane.
Absolutely not. You guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. That was a little bit of show talk. Some shows we've been watching there. All right. As always, we got a good show for you guys today.
And if anybody has a show recommendation, feel free to put that in the chat.
Oh, 1,000%.
I'm all for a good recommendation, except from Bubba. He seems to like shows that I dislike intensely.
My sci-fi shows. Every once in a while, I'll give you a gem that you would like.
Which one?
Or you would be done already watched it, like the soccer show.
Oh,
the
Ted
comedy.
Lasso.
Yeah.
Oh,
you had
God.
already watched
Oh,
it
I
at that
was
point.
already,
Yeah. But
all in on Ted Lasso.
I get him in every once in a while. I should have thought about Swagger. I had watched Swagger a little while ago.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we're going to be talking about NBA playoffs. Timberwolves, they stay alive. We're going to be talking about women picking men up at bars. Okay.
Literally and figuratively.
And we have quite a few trending stories that we're going to plow through. Okay. One being this man who has been accused of giving his girlfriend an abortion pill without her knowledge. Okay. Sort of pulling a Rick Ross there as far as slipping her Mickey. But this one, it was an abortion pill.
Is that Rick Ross's big move?
Yes.
He can't get laid without that move.
Maybe now, but before the stacks came.
Back in the day when he was a parole officer. Fucking pansy.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Ebony. Facebook told me it was your birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday to our original listener there, Eb. Yeah, man. She actually shares the birthday with our sponsor, man.
I saw that.
Yeah, Royal 13 the brand. Yeah, it's his birthday as well.
It's true as well.
So shout out to you guys. I'm not a big sign or what's that thing called? The horoscope. Zodiac signs guy.
Yeah.
But whatever you guys are, happy season to you guys. Okay.
Here's my experience with the signs. Like, people talk about them, and I don't understand when people are really fixated on them. You're talking to them and they mention stuff about their sign a lot. I don't really get it. But my daughter bought a book one time, and it was about the signs, and then it had paragraphs, not just about your sign, but about how you are in different levels of your sign. So how you are in a relationship under your sign, how you are in as a parent on your sign, how you are as a sibling, how you are as an employee. And damn, when she's reading that stuff, some of it was legit.
No. Yeah, when you read it, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Some of it is legit. You know what's my move? Because it's mostly women that are really heavily into that. And if I catch a woman,
can't say I met a dude who was. Hey man, I'm a Libra. Look out.
When I catch a woman early on, when I'm court dating online, whatever it is,
seducing,
I will if she's talking about it, I'll go look it up. I'll Google okay, my sign is Aries and her sign together, and then I'll be like, hey, I looked this up. Look, we work well together here. We're just gonna need to work there, and it's oh, he's interested, and he knows.
Bubba doing the scouting.
You guys might want to use that,
Game plan, Bubba. Wow.
And after you use that, you're gonna want to go back to our show with Terrence there, okay, and learn some moves for after you get her. Okay.
Some proper technique.
Yeah, there you go.
The turkey baster.
Can't forget
Haven't forgotten.
No.
That's awesome.
No, it's gone but never forgotten. Okay. Now, Pig, I'm gonna let you.
I'm still impressed by your homework, man.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know you were a scout like that.
Oh yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I'm gonna let you steer the show here and choose where we go first. Okay, so of course we have the NBA playoffs. Okay, we have these trending stories here. We have my Atlanta story. Okay,
let's go with some trending stories.
Trending stories.
Yeah, get a little wild early.
Let's get a little wild early. Okay.
And hopefully your Atlanta story doesn't disappoint.
I don't think it will, but we'll see. Okay. So first, let's go to this in Central Florida here. There was something that happened here with the police. So I'm going to play that. Now, when I play it, I want you to hold this because you might want to turn this down just a tad bit so we don't get any double audio. I'm going to do the same. All right. So here we go here. Yeah, just turn it down a little bit. Then we're going to turn it back up once it's over.
Tonight with video that has a Bay Area Police Department facing some tough questions. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Lee.
And I'm Josh Benson. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. A mother says that is her 16-year-old son being hit repeatedly by Lakeland police officers. And tonight she wants answers. News Channel 8's Lenny Supal has the latest on the investigation. So Lenny, how did we get to this point tonight?
Good evening. Well, police say that the 16-year-old was trespassing and ignored commands to leave the pool of an apartment complex. But that's when the situation took a very disturbing turn, and it was all caught on camera. Tonight, an encounter between two Lakeland police officers and 16-year-old Jamal Hudson under review. Officers throwing multiple punches, one swing directly to his face. Hudson falling to the ground after a taser is used against him. Then one of the officers appears to place a knee on Hudson's neck.
I couldn't stomach the fact that two LPD officers literally just battered my son.
This police report detailing the incident from Memorial Day around 6 p.m. Lakeland police officers dispatched to the Caroline Apartments on Griffin Road, responding to a call reporting several people who didn't live at the complex were in the pool. One of the responding officers writes that Hudson ignored commands to leave the property, then, quote, stuck his hand in my face while stating, I don't have to talk to you. Hudson struck me in the facial area one time with his closed fist.
It shouldn't have led to this if these are kids and these are two adults literally jumping my son.
In Lakeland, to be honest with you, it makes me feel, here we go again.
This isn't the first time Lakeland police have been accused of using excessive force. This video capturing a police stop in December 2022, showing a Lakeland police officer punching driver Antoine Glover multiple times, even when on the ground. 2 weeks ago, the state attorney's office dropping the charges against Glover, stating they cannot be proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
We continue to complain about the culture that Lakeland has, so to us, this is becoming so common here.
Meanwhile, Hudson faces charges of trespassing, battery on a law enforcement officer, and resisting an officer with violence. His mother demanding more answers from officers.
Yeah. So what's your reaction to that there, man?
This is what police do. This is the problem with them. You know, you create these situations where it gets violent when it doesn't have to. A 16-year-old guy trespassing at a pool, was danger imminent to anybody besides a confrontational officer? Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. And then you get to this thing too, and it's like, I'm tired of training. Like, I'm tired of this excuse of not training. But I do have to say this. It's like punching a person. Like, that's not the job. Like, that's not what you're doing. Like, if you have, if you're going to take a guy to the ground because he's acting wild and you're basically going to subdue them, like, there's a way to do that where you get a guy to the ground and kind of restrain him essentially, and then whatever. But I'm not big on again, if there's no imminent danger, if this guy's not about to harm somebody, I don't have there's no justification for what we're looking at. But then when you have these situations, that both videos featured, like punches. And it's just like, what is that? What handbook is that a part of? Because it's not, it's not effective policing. You're now just in a fight. This stuff just sickens me. It really does.
It really does, man. Now on top, I know this is a big kid, right? Even if this is an adult, this is too much, right? This is excessive force for anyone. Yeah. But this is a kid, man. This is a big kid. If you can't take down a kid of any size as a grown man in a police uniform, you're just in the wrong job.
Right.
You're in the wrong profession.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, why is it getting physical unless there's imminent harm to others?
It shouldn't be. Now,
that's my point.
What the police, their statement early on was, he put his hands in my face. He was, unresponsive to our, demands, if you will. And then he said that they're trying to say that he may have struck him first. Okay.
Right.
Even if that's the case, it shouldn't go like this.
That's again, that goes to my thing. The imminent harm is to the officer themselves who's created this conflict.
Yes.
That's not acceptable. That's not what your job is.
No.
Now, if somebody is behaving aggressively toward a few other people who are trying to enjoy a day at the pool, and he's harassing them and being physically aggressive, then as a law enforcement, you come in and you take this person down and move them out of the area so that there's no harm. But if some guy's wandering around as a trespasser and you get into this whole follow my command crap, and then it gets to a physical altercation, you need to de-escalate this.
And then what's the need for the taser?
Yeah, because the guy was actually fighting back. I mean, like resisting or whatever. So then you feel like you need the taser. Like this is just all a failure.
But two grown men can't take down a child without a taser?
No, they can't.
What is going on here?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they go to the taser and they go to punches. Like, if you can, like, if you could execute a wrestling style takedown
Yeah.
to put somebody in a position where they can't do harm and whatever. But I don't want to sit here and say I'm in favor of this, because if the guy doesn't want to leave, like, you basically ride him out.
Yeah.
We're the police. We're not leaving until you leave. And we appreciate you doing that quickly. And you don't approach him. You don't get in his face. You don't get in this whole follow my command or you're going to whatever. You just wait him out. Like, you're not supposed to be at the pool, sir. You need to leave.
And then you act, how old are you? You look like you may be young. You sound like you may be young. Are you a child? Where are your parents? Can we give your parents a call?
Right.
Is that not a part of the protocol here? I mean, the mother had no idea until after all of this is over with.
Right.
None of these questions are asked.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, he's facing charges, the child,
Of course he is.
for trespassing and attacking the police and et cetera. And those are, especially the attacking the police, that's a serious charge.
Well, and again, why does it get to that? Because it becomes a confrontation instead of a de-escalation, and that's the game plan in these situations. You confront, you do your follow my command stuff, and when it doesn't happen, then you become more physically imposing and aggressive, and finally there's an altercation, and you're the police, you get the benefit of the call in that. That's what happens. But this cannot be acceptable. This is just not good policing, and it's just not good behavior. Again, just ride the guy out unless there's a sense of imminent harm to other people. People that are just, residents of the community or whatever, or enjoying the pool or the rec room or whatever the heck's going on. If that's not what we're dealing with, just ride the dude out.
That's it. Hopefully Lakeland gets behind this kid, puts pressure on that police department to put these police officers, accountable, hold them accountable some kind of way. I don't care whether it's fire, suspension, money, monetary, whatever it is. They need to hold these guys accountable in some form or fashion, and this, and the community needs to get behind this kid and get some kind of justice here.
Hold the police accountable for this behavior.
Yeah, that's it.
This is not acceptable.
That's it, man. That's it. All right, moving on here to another a topic here that's been trending today. So basically, almost 2 million bottles of Fiji water has been recalled after testing finds high levels of manganese. We need Terrence Howard over here to recreate the
one of his 97 patents,
which can cause brain damage. Okay, I've heard of car recalls. My Kia had a recall. I had to take it up there and get it fixed. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a water recall. Now I do have a take on this. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
I can't say I have paid attention to a water recall.
No, I haven't heard of one.
And Fiji's one of those pricey ones.
It is.
So I'm not buying that crap anyway.
$3 to $4 a pop.
I'll drink from a fountain before I buy Fiji one. I will. And I'm sure the manganese levels are high there too.
Here's my thing on that.
What were the manganese levels on my parents' hose outside? What do you figure they were?
Yeah, had to be at a crazy amount.
Yeah.
My thing on this is, there's a ton of health nuts in the world, and as the years go by, there's more and more that join this culture here. And it's whatever brings you peace mentally. Of course, that's fine.
Yeah.
My point to that has always been, I even had this discussion with Jason one time, who's, he stopped eating meat and was trying to get everybody on that train, was, it doesn't matter what train you hop on, because the powers that be got it all covered. You're not going to live an incredibly long time. I do believe way back in the day, people used to live to 150, 200, 250 years. And I don't think this is some, crazy theory. I think the powers that be got together and said, hey, if the world populates to a certain amount, we just can't have people living that long. And I don't think whatever you're into, whether it's they have lettuce recalls, tomato recalls. You know what I mean? All of this stuff. Now, it's water. It's my first time seeing water. This is expensive water. This is not the off-brand, Walmart water that you can get, 30 in a pack for $3. Like
Publix best.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what lane you're in. If you're not growing your own food, and have your own wishing well in the back where you're, filtering your own water, have your own water system, you're going to get screwed. And even if you have those two things covered, they got fucking cancerous gas going on in the air. You know what I mean? You got.
Wait, at the end of the day, you have to die of something.
That's it.
We're all going to die. You got to die of something. So, stop stressing over this.
You're stressing. You're depriving yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have some red meat, have some Pepsi or Coke, and maybe a fucking milkshake.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I this whole stuff I don't get. Yeah, I mean, but again, you go to the point, people can't live forever. Well, they can't because, now, I mean, most people really can't work above, 65 or 70 and be, real productive. I mean, maybe you could kind of politely bag the groceries at Publix or something.
Yeah.
But
or make
following Bubba's great techniques.
Or make presidential speeches.
Yeah, or something like that. I mean, we don't want those people doing much of anything
right.
other than dying. So, we can't, we just, it's just appalling. So, recalling waters, which can cause brain damage. We got enough stupid motherfuckers running around here already. We're worried about a little bit more brain damage? Come on. We got to declare war on those that are too stupid already. In the ranks.
Kobe says, I'm not exchanging 5 years of my life to eat disgusting food.
That's why I stay away from fruits and vegetables, my man. That shit's disgusting. And if it cuts my life short by 5 years, I'm okay.
So be it, huh?
Yeah. I just want to live to 69. I'll
to
be
do
good.
the 69 at 69.
Then I could go.
That's a feat.
I've done all I can hope for here on Earth.
Yeah, that's a feat.
Wish you all the best. I'm out.
All right, here. Let's go on here to. Let's see here. Where are you at? Right here. Okay. So we got a couple of these stories here as well here. And Ebony says a lot of expensive water is absolutely trash anyway. And I agree. Now, our first one here.
Ebony's out there buying all the expensive water and testing them for us. Maybe you've suffered brain damage and don't know it. Can't rule it out.
That would explain all of the toys.
Yeah. I got to live while we need you.
We need you, Pete.
Hey, man. Elvis has left the building.
Now, this first one here, man accused of giving his girlfriend an abortion pill without her knowledge. What do you go with that?
There's only one scenario in which this is vaguely acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
If she duped him with the pregnancy.
Oh, come on, man.
What? If she duped him with the pregnancy, if she hey, I'm on the pill and this and that and whatever, and then maybe she turkey basted herself with a load of jizz, and but I said vaguely acceptable.
Okay.
I mean, if there's some misdeed on her part, that's really wrong. It's not because I also have some strong views on parenting. I don't think everybody should be a parent.
Anyhow.
And I think, you're doing a disservice to a child bringing him into a dysfunctional situation. And, if these two people are toxic imbeciles,
yeah,
it's really tragic. It's tragic no matter what. It's tragic that he did this, but it's also tragic that those two people impregnated each other.
Yeah.
It's just, not everybody's cut out to be a parent. And if you're not up to the task, you got to realize that you're just harming people.
I took a step back as you were talking because I do agree with it because he didn't kill her. He slipped her an abortion pill. Now, it's bad, but I agree. It's vaguely acceptable if he was duped. It's vaguely acceptable. You do.
There was some
I
sort
think I
of-
agree with that.
If there's some sort of misdeed on her part in the pregnancy,
Yeah.
then that's something to consider. But let's say there's not. This is a horrible act.
Yeah.
This is really unconscionably bad. This is, in a sense, this is a murder.
It is. I didn't even know this was a thing. I thought you had to go to a clinic to get an abortion. I didn't know they have pills you can buy out of Walgreens.
I'm not sure, but I was talking to the boys at work today, and we're saying, like, when you watch TV, like, you are bombarded by medical, like, pill commercials.
Yeah.
Like, you can't watch any commercial TV without there being some pill that's supposed to do something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really just feels like there's damn near a pill to do just about anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is, I mean, again, if there's no duping, and I'm not even saying duping washes the slate on this guy, this is a horrific act. This is, this is really bad. And again, if this is like some sort of act of revenge, like, let's just play this out in a scenario where, he's going out with her and they have a relationship and, he's wants to have a kid with her, they get pregnant, and then, like, something happens where he's now pissed at her for something.
Yeah.
And this is what he does.
Or he gets cold feet.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically a murder in my book.
Yeah.
And he should be charged as such.
He should.
So
He should.
yeah,
And he has a COVID mask on and
if you're
March
wearing
of
a COVID
2024.
mask in 2024,
May of 2024.
if you're wearing a COVID mask in 2021, you are an asshole. And I don't want to be on the same planet with you. I really don't.
So maybe it's good he's getting caught and going to prison. So
Yeah. He
So,
needs to go under the jail for his murder and wearing a COVID mask
yeah,
3 years after they were vaguely relevant.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's like I automatically, when I'm walking around and I do see somebody, you still occasionally do.
No, you do.
I immediately think less of that person.
I saw one yesterday in the store.
Yeah, I immediately think less of that person.
Yeah.
I'm like, that person cannot possibly be good.
Yeah.
You're wearing a COVID mask.
Yeah. Something is wrong. Something is off.
With you, not
Yeah.
with me.
Of course.
Yeah. COVID mask. I just hate the word. It just conjures up an internal visceral rage.
Moving on, 2 escaped Louisiana inmates found hiding in a dumpster behind the Dollar General store. Now, 4 of them got out at the same time. It was said that they crawled out in an incredibly small space. All right, so none of these are big boys. All
I
right.
was going to say, the third,
they're all
guy,
young,
the third
too.
guy on the side's got a bit of a big head. He might have had a big struggle. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And so 2 are still at large. So they
Okay.
split up. They got out and they split up in 2s. And this segment is called "You So Crazy." So we try to figure out if these guys are crazy or
Homeboy 1 is crazy
not. What you mean? For what?
for wearing a mask. And,
Oh yeah.
And doing that.
Yeah,
we
he's
didn't
nuts.
address that. So
No,
we're
no,
gonna
yeah,
address that. He's
exactly.
crazy.
He's crazy. These guys here, it sounds crazy, right? Because it's like, oh, you escape from prison and you go into a dumpster behind Dollar General. That's nuts. But I don't think that's that nuts. Because what are the odds they're gonna look for me in a dumpster, behind Dollar General? I kind of think that was a decent idea. I know it was probably only one of their ideas, and the other guy just said okay. So now he's probably pissed at the other one. But I got to tell you, I think that's okay.
I think it's a horrible idea.
You think so?
Yeah. Number 1, it's disgusting. Number 2, you've literally put yourself in a box. Like, you can't. There's no mobility there. You're static. You're in the dumpster. If they're tipped off, you're done. There's no options. Like, you want to. I mean, if I'm on the run as an escaped inmate, I'm looking for like mobility, wide open spaces. Give me options, and I'm getting as far away from wherever I was as quickly as possible. So the likelihood of anybody recognizing me or whatever. Now, a prison break, you got to think, okay, a local warning is going to go out. Here, these are the guys, and look for them. But the faster I get out of that range of that news, the better chance I have
Yeah.
to sustain. I mean, you're static. You're in a dumpster. Like
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. You know.
I hear you, and the two guys with mobility still at large, so you got a point there.
I mean, that says it all, man.
You got a point
there's
there.
no coming back from that.
So yeah, you got a point there. You might be right, and maybe I'm one of the two that's back in prison, and you're still out,
and you're smelling like bad candy at the Dollar General. What the hell?
Yeah. So so we'll see. I want to see how they're going to get caught. The two. First of all, these are 4 young guys. They're between the ages of like 17 and 20.
Okay.
So they don't have any money. They they don't have a lot of resources. So eventually they will get caught. But it'll be interesting to see how long they can stay out.
Yeah.
You know.
But
can
honestly,
you screw a couple girls while you're out? Can you?
Yeah.
What can you do? What can you get done within this time?
But it's all about creating distance.
Yeah.
That has to be objective one. If you're gonna escape prison to go find your family and your friends, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You deserve to get caught.
Yeah.
Like that's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, if the idea is I'm escaping prison and you need to start a new life.
Yeah.
Like you got to get the hell out of the area, go to some place where you wouldn't be suspected, and just meld in.
Yeah.
You know, and then begin. And people have done this. I mean, the people have actually been on the run or escapees for long periods of time.
Being so young, you have to think you're still attached to your family a little bit. 18, 19, you got to hear from mama.
Yeah, but that's just not the move.
Yeah.
I mean, again, what do you want? Do you want an actual freedom, or do you want, to just bang a few chicks and get hauled out of a dumpster? I mean, you have to, you got to have a plan.
All right. Now, Isaiah Thomas.
So we'd say these two guys are crazy. They're two comrades, potential genius material.
Yeah. Potential. They're going to be the talk of the town in jail. Everybody's talking about him every day. And you have to sit there and listen to those guys talk about him.
Run, Forrest, run.
Too crazy, too not crazy.
Why do you think Forrest Gump ran? He knew what was up.
He ran out of those leg braces he had.
Yeah.
Former basketball player Isaiah Thomas.
Wasn't he on a roster like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, Phoenix.
Let's not dismiss him as
Phoenix.
Former player.
No, you're right. He made his way back to the league because he was fighting to get back in the league.
Yeah.
And he got a 10-day contract and then was held on.
Into the end of the year, right?
Turned into a playoff. He was on the playoff roster. Didn't get to play, but he was on the roster, so that's good.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure. Now, he went back to his hometown where he's been labeled a hometown hero. So he's done a lot in this neighborhood. He's spent a lot of money. He's done stuff with kids. And, of course, he's a former basketball star from that neighborhood. Says a kid pulled out an AK-47 on him and his friends when he was back in that neighborhood. And one of the kids, the guy with the gun was with, recognized Isaiah Thomas. And Isaiah feared for his life, feared that he would have ended, Isaiah and Isaiah's friend's life if the guy didn't recognize him as Isaiah Thomas. Now, no news has been reported that Isaiah has, of course, done anything to this kid, A, or B, even reported it to the police. He just let it go.
Yeah, which is the move.
Is that the move?
100% the move.
I disagree. I fully disagree. I get it. I understand, as a troubled youth, that's the last thing you need to do is involve the police. But something needs to be done. Because this kid is still going to be walking around with this AK-47, which is a fucking crazy gun to even have in a neighborhood. He's only up to no good with the AK-47.
Oh, it's the favorite choice of serial killers everywhere.
Yeah. So when Isaiah Thomas leaves, he's going to target and kill someone else.
Yeah, that gun's going to be used in something.
It's going to be used in something else. So if you're not going to do it, it's only two choices I believe in my mind here. Either Isaiah Thomas and his friends, comrades, or he pays somebody, does something to that kid, all right, physically, harms him, or you get the police involved and get this kid locked up. He shouldn't be a part of society. And if he is going to be a part of
Right.
society, give him an ass whooping or something worse.
No. Okay. Couple things. You're Isaiah Thomas. You're a hooper. You're not a gangster,
Right.
presumably.
Right.
You know, you had this encounter, and Lou Will had a similar encounter.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, your celebrity, you know, that you earn gets you out of the situation. Be thankful. Do not get into the situation where you're now trying to pass out justice, because then the next time you're never getting a pass. Somebody somewhere is going to get you, if that's the thing. Because who do you think is around that kid? You know, other morons with guns. That's not the move. So as Isaiah, individual person, I'm not in favor of him seeking retribution, sending a crew of guys after this kid. That just perpetuates the cycle of violence. You know, I do agree that guy, you know, basically continues to pose imminent danger to somebody in the community. And I agree that it's ridiculous that he has an AK-47. Again, though, that's what our country allows. That's what our country is okay with. And as long as this country is okay with this, you're going to pay a cost in blood. That's as simple as that. I'm not okay with it. I want it to stop, but the majority of these people are in favor of this. And you're going to pay the cost in blood. That's the cost that you are accepting with your Second Amendment. It's the cost you're accepting with, you know, with ineffective laws. It's the cost you're accepting to, you know, be some fucking, you know, dude with a bunch of weapons. If that means that much to you, you're willing to watch others die. So don't be a hypocrite now and act like it matters. Tipping off the police, getting involved in that on a personal level is ugly. Because, again, that might be as bad or worse as getting the retribution yourself. Because you're going to have to go and testify, assuming they find this kid. And everyone's going to know it's you and him. And his buddies are still going to know it's you and him. And to me, you're in the same position as if you went and got the retribution yourself. That's kind of where we're at with that. And I'm not putting myself in harm's way for that. I'm taking my pass and happy to have it. And I'm moving on. Because until we as a country want to get serious about gun control and changing laws and doing things that will actually reduce gun violence, this is what we accept.
Yeah. All right. So Isaiah's not crazy for you. I call him a little crazy.
Nah, I mean he played it right,
Yeah.
and we know he played it right because he's here to tell the story.
Yeah, he's still here to tell the
So
story.
I say not crazy at all.
And for the formidable future here.
Yeah.
Until he gets to be 69 or 70 years old.
And I don't want people to carry shanks like the Brits. I'm just not a gun and violence guy, you know. And I think a lot of the gun and violence, guns and violence, it's our stupid laws that are ineffective, and embrace this, but it's also arises from the inequity and injustice of our society.
Yeah.
You have people that are disenfranchised. You have people that don't trust the justice system, and rightly so. And you have people that don't have hope in any meaningful way, in any pathway that's not illegal. And when you allow that to happen, you invite violence. And it's a cycle because you have, you know, whatever, some guy in the hood with a gun and sticking people up or whatever. And then what that breeds is some white guy in the suburb wanting 4 or 5 guns because he's afraid that something's going to happen to him, you know, in his gated community. You know, it's just a cycle of fear that we perpetuate because we're too stupid to see bigger.
No, that's true. All righty here. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all podcast streaming platforms, including on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I know I always say it, and I say it really fast. But really, if you like the video, that helps us. At the very least, if you're watching, you can hit a like. That really helps us in the algorithm, things like that. If you share it, that's a plus. We appreciate that as well. But liking is takes half a second, and you're already watching, whatever.
Yeah.
So appreciate that. All right. Really quick here to give a quick shout out, Royal13thebrand.com. Again, it's his birthday, okay? Use promo code Bubba Pink. Be fresh here for the summer. Get all your stuff, Royal13thebrand.com. Happy birthday, my man, True. All right. Young black business owner. All righty. Let's see here. Let's go here, man. I'm gonna call Treese here. She goes by Pink on social media. She's Pink number 2. Because we have Pink number 1
Emphasis on the number 2.
So she had this topic and idea. She called me. She wanted to know, first of all, she just asked me, hey, should women or is it attractive to, for a woman to know about sports? Do men value that? Is that attractive? And things of that nature. And then she took it a step further and said, okay, should women go out to bars, to sports bars, to pick up men, especially if they've been watching sports, and then they can, have stuff to add to the sports conversations and things like that while they're watching the games.
The Giants are 28th in third down efficiency. God, I want to fuck you.
And it just doesn't work like that. That's what I'm trying to tell her.
It doesn't?
No, I'm saying, yeah. I mean, I like just who cares? It's cool. It's cool, but it's not like, it's not like you're gonna say that and it's gonna make me want to have sex with you, or make me want to ask for your phone number because, oh my gosh, she knows about sports. Wow. She's amazing. I have never met one. It's nice. Okay.
But so when she's she was contemplating her and some girlfriends go to the sports bar, kind of get a table, act like they're enjoying the game, and maybe kind of banter with some of the guys doing the same. Yeah. I feel.
But with a sole purpose of picking up.
Right. No, I just feel like the lack of authenticity to that undercuts the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
If there's a woman and she actually knows sports and seems to be genuinely interested in sports, independent of you, to me that's kind of a cool thing.
Right.
But again, if it's just this fake thing, oh yeah, I really like sports, just because you're trying to kind of whatever, hook up or something, it's just not a great move if that's your objective.
Exactly. And I'm going to get on the horn here, all right, to talk.
She's on the chat, so she better be on the horn.
Is she?
Yeah, she just.
Oh, yeah, Pink Nina.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, she says she's ready. So that's good. She's on time. All right.
That's a rarity for women. Who said that?
She said because y'all sell it out. Okay, let's get on the horn here. All right. Hello. You're on the Bench Podcast with Bubba and Pink. How you doing this evening?
Awesome. I'm doing great.
That's fantastic.
Am I loud enough?
Yes, you are. You're good.
Hey, Pink Jr.
Pink Jr. I am your senior.
Now we don't have a ton of time to give you, so we already set it up.
At all.
So can you explain your take on this? What's going on here? You're picking up guys at bars.
So I want you guys to understand, and I'm not saying that this has to be forced. I don't think women should go out to the bar and then just fake like they know what they're talking about. But what sparks up a conversation? So if the female's, going for, one team and then the guy's going for another team, they may have different views and that might spark conversation. Or they may be all going on the same team and they have some type of interest there So I think it's a spark of a conversation. I truly think that it would work, but the female has to really be into sports.
Well, I mean, when you say it that way, if it's authentic, if there's a female and that she's really into sports, then it's natural for her to be somewhere watching a game. It's natural for her to interact with men or females that know sports on a similar level. So I mean, yeah, if it's authentic, I get it. And I mean, it would be fair to say, like, I mean, I would kind of find that, somewhat attractive or appealing if somebody actually knows something, about it. But I think, like, as guys, I think we're somewhat conditioned to like engage with some women, and like they will kind of, if you express an interest or something, if they're into you, they're gonna like try to amplify that interest. But it's oftentimes it's not really authentic, and at some point that reveals itself, and it's kind of like, yeah, I kind of felt that anyway. Which I'm just not.
I mean, I don't. Right. I mean, I think a lot of women aren't advanced when it comes to like sports and things like that. But there are women who know a little something. They know what a foul is. They know like what team they're going for. They don't know stats and like the history, like, most men would know. But if she shows a little bit of interest in sports, I think men will find that a turn on.
Now, Terrence, what he says is it's actually more effective to pretend you don't know, so the guy can feel good about teaching you something. What do you think
Sidna
about that?
said that. That's good.
Who said that?
I think, because
Sidna.
She said we have to play dumb so you guys can feel like feel powerful, or like, oh, I'm gonna save her, because y'all always want to save females.
No, we don't.
That's a good proposition, dude.
We just want to have sex with y'all.
And that's what I said.
I'm not trying.
And she didn't like my response.
I'm not trying to save her.
You guys like to teach us things, just like what you said.
Yeah, I'm past that point in my life.
Well,
I mean,
I think it's a good thing.
I might teach a thing or two behind closed doors, but I don't need to go over the nuances of the motion offense for my own.
Oh my goodness.
Amusement.
But like Pink said in the beginning, yeah. If you like know about sports, if you've been watching it for a while, and maybe you have kids that have been in it, whatever the case may be, however you get to that point, then yeah, it's cool. But what I'm saying, for you to uproot your Bridgerton and your all this Nicki Minaj stuff you're into, and to push that to the side, to go through a 3-week hard crash course in NBA basketball and the history of it and the histrionics and what is this, what is the play, what is this, what is that, that's just doing too much. That's just doing too much.
Bubba,
it's not needed.
Bubba,
no.
Take a pause for a second. Do you know who you're talking to?
Oh my God.
I think he might.
My son plays basketball.
No,
so it's not like.
Is he any good?
Boy, I will come up there right now.
I've seen some highlights. He has some potential. You go to the games, but you are on your phone. You don't. I know you don't.
That's not true.
It's true. I know it's. You know how I know it's true? Because you don't know anything. You don't know enough.
Bubba, you don't know me. Bubba, I've been watching basketball since 2009.
Whoa.
What are you talking about?
Do I need to detail?
Let me tell you how much I'm into
the last
sports.
Couple of days.
Yes.
What you didn't know?
With your help, you should start a class for all women who want to learn sports. And by next season, we'll be good.
But Bubba will be shooting coochie in a barrel.
But my point is, you didn't know those things before our call just a couple of days ago.
I said I didn't know stats. Correct.
Not stats.
I don't know all the basketball teams.
You didn't know. Yeah, you got to know.
I didn't know all the basketball
West
teams.
And East Side. You didn't know.
Oh my God, he's
Luke
such a liar.
Doncic.
Okay.
You didn't know Kyrie Irving. Like these are like basic.
You are a liar.
All you know is Jason Tatum because he's light skinned and you think he looks good. That's all
you
know.
are really reaching. I don't know. Okay, correct. I'm not familiar with any of the teams in the NBA in the finals right now. You are correct because I'm used to the Currys and the LeBrons in the NBA in the finals.
That's fair.
All right, so these teams ain't been in
timeout. That's not,
in Orlando.
That's not fair. That's not fair. No, because you're telling me that you have a son that plays basketball. That you're probably having to go to his games. If he's any sort of player at all, he's probably watching games and and looking at players that he models himself after, and you're basically telling us that you're disconnected from that process and can't remember an NBA Finals since at least 2021 or 22.
Listen, what do you want me to say?
And he loves LaMelo Ball. You might want to take all his LaMelo Ball stuff down because that's not
you
the
can't
best.
you can't love LaMelo Ball.
That's like his favorite player.
Yeah, nah.
I'm getting there, and I feel like women can do it.
He's gonna get teabagged.
Get him an Anthony Edwards jersey and poster, please.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually has some shoes out too. You might want to join that train. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh
Don't
my God!
join my type of train. Join the Anthony Edwards train.
Bubba didn't even join his own train. He was left on the what do you call it? The ramp or whatever the hell.
Do you have any last things to add here?
No, I just also want to put out that I feel like all men should watch sports, and if men do not watch sports, then they need to reevaluate their life because they might be gay. That's all I have to say.
Okay, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, taking it right there, are we?
That's all. All men need to watch sports.
Fair point, but like
That's not a fair point, man.
No. What I'm saying, like, okay, I am asking this legitimate question. Like, so have you been on a date or been talking to a guy and kind of picked up that like he doesn't know jack about sports, and suddenly you kind of like lose a little interest in him?
Definitely. I don't talk to guys who don't watch sports.
Okay.
Like, I want to argue because you're going to the sports bar to watch the finals and not staying home.
Okay.
Okay.
Bubba, you might have found a keeper.
Well,
Bubba stays home to watch his game, so he
I know any meaningful game. I can't get Bubba to come out and watch. It's ridiculous.
That's horrible. Horrible.
I feel like
he's probably at home playing video games, but really telling you he's watching the game.
He might. After swearing up and down that he watches every 76ers dribble. I kind of thought maybe he's got some weird rituals where like he watches the game like holding a Sixers blanket or something.
You gotta keep the good luck rolling, man. Well, Pink Nina, we appreciate the time here. Okay, great,
awesome.
Great topic.
All right.
We got it from you. Okay, just to let the
You're
world know.
duly credited.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you very
guys.
much. Goodbye.
All right.
Yeah, Bubba sounds like Kevin Samuels on that last one. Don't know enough.
You don't know enough. That was hilarious.
That's
All right, good stuff there. Good stuff. We don't.
But that like what you were kind of alluding to though, like
What's
that does like so when you have that inauthentic like girl who's trying to seem sporty when she's not, it is like typically what'll happen is like, oh yeah, who's your favorite player? And it'll be somebody who hasn't played in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, and that's always the dead giveaway that like
I love Michael Vick.
exactly. That really tells you like where things are at.
Because you're no better than that fantasy guy who picks, Eddie George on his team or whatever the case may be. It's like, yo, don't tell him anything,
That was the good old days of like fantasy football, like before everything was like computerized.
Yeah.
Dudes
You
would
had to
literally
know.
draft a guy that got cut like last week. And
Yeah. Like you had to know. There was no alerts. They're not helping you.
Yeah.
There's no. Yeah. You had to know your stuff there, man. The good old days. All right. Moving along here. So, I'll tell you what. Let's just go. We'll just go basketball last then. That's what we'll do since we're already on the roll. And what we'll do is we'll enter story time here.
Story time.
Yeah, we'll enter story time
The
here.
Atlanta chapter.
Yes, the Atlanta chapter here. I'm going to go a 3 or 4 part series here of
Mirroring the train stories.
yes. That was a
Can Bubba approach the lofty heights?
a series as well. All right. So, of course, I like to tell some.
You didn't have a single orgasm in that whole series, did you?
I did not in the train stories. No. He said, Terrence still laugh. No, I did not. No, I did not make any train there.
0 loads were dropped.
No,
By Bubba.
but there were many.
Others dropped.
There were many dropped in Atlanta, though. Okay.
Oh.
So to give you guys a very quick backdrop here, this is the time frame. Okay, I'm in a very shitty job that I hate very much. Okay, And at the time, I don't like myself. I don't like anything that's going on. I'm not even getting selected to interview for this manager's job where I've been working at this place for a very long time, and I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, all of that good stuff. And then what happens is my cousin calls. He's living in Atlanta. He's been living in Atlanta now for roughly about 10 years or so. Now, this particular cousin, he's my uncle's son, so he's my first cousin, but, I haven't really hung out with him since I was a child.
Okay.
And what happens is somebody from the family has alerted him that,
Bubba has low self-esteem.
I have this degree now, but, I'm having trouble finding a job. So I later find that out. So he calls me. He's like, hey, Atlanta is a great place, man, for young black entrepreneurs, young black people that's trying to get into the workforce, all of that good stuff. You need to come up here. You need to check it out, man. This, and that. He said, just come up here for a weekend, man. Check it out. Just come up here a weekend. So this is about maybe 2 months prior to me making that move, to making the move. Okay. So I said,
you agreed to go up for a weekend?
Yeah, I agreed to go up a weekend.
Okay.
Now I wasn't flying yet.
That's right.
I wasn't flying. So I took the mega bus up there.
Oh, yes.
Mega bus, and you get some crazy people on the mega bus. The seats are just the worst. Okay, the drive is incredibly long. They make 1,000 stops. All that stuff.
But it's like $12.
Yeah, very cheap. And I'm very cheap because I wasn't making any money at the time.
It's funny. I was going to send Bryson to Jacksonville in the mega bus for a recruiting visit one time, and he was in high school.
Yeah.
And he was not old enough to go on the mega bus. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, might have dodged a bullet there.
You might have.
Yeah, like a teenage guy, like on the mega bus by himself.
Nah, it's not.
Might not have ended well.
Not the best. Yeah, it's not the best.
Might have ended like a Diddy party.
Now, at this time, I got two things going for me here. All right. Number one, mom's still here. That's good. Number two, I'm in my physical prime. Okay. I'm playing basketball every day. This is the best I've ever been at that time. And secondly, I'm in my physical best sexual prime. Okay.
Really?
I'm getting it done. All right, and I feel very well about myself in that area. So,
ladies, take note that Bubba's probably no longer
I'm past
in
my
his
prime.
sexual prime.
So,
So let disappointment reign.
So at this time, yeah, I'm going up because my cousin says I had never been to Atlanta, and my cousin says, okay, come up here because there's a lot of black excellence. You're going to find a job. Black people love to help people up here. I'm going for that reason, but I know Atlanta has a lot of black women, and they tell me, hey, not only do the women outnumber men, but then you got a lot of gay men, so it's like really 4 or 5 to 1. And I'm like, well,
the numbers always blow me away.
You know what I mean? Like who's really counting this stuff?
No, but yeah, I know. But like when you hear like it's 3 to 1, it's 4 to 1. Like, do you know what that actually looks like? Like, do you know what it means? You actually have like 4 to 1.
Yeah, that's insane.
That is not what's happening. Like it doesn't work that way.
So I pull one of my oldie goldie moves at the time where, before I go, I go online, try to chat it up with a couple, try to get some things set up for when I get there. I'm only going to be there for like really, technically 2 days. The mega bus takes a day and a half, whatever. So I get there late Friday night. I got to go back Sunday morning.
Time is short.
Time is short, but whatever. I'm trying to get something set up.
What was the go-to back in that day?
What app? What really? I can't remember really. I want to say Tinder. It may not have been. Whatever it was, I was using it. I got 3 set up. Okay, not all from the app though. One was a girl I had went to school with. But let's get there. Okay, so I get to Atlanta. Okay, finally arrive on the mega bus. The first night, my cousin, he takes me to his friend house. Now his friend, Kyle, he's a wealthy guy, wealthy white guy, real cool. He's been through a lot of different industries, has a humongous house, all these cars or whatever. And then he has a business partner he deals with. He's over there. He's a Boston Celtics fan. So we're talking, we're breaking bread, we're eating, we're drinking. And they're, basically my cousin brought me there just to show me, like, hey, this is the circle I'm in, and these guys can put you in position to win. You just got to come here with a hunger to get it done. Like, they're not going to hand you anything. They don't have anything to hand you. But you come up here, you put yourself in position. These guys can push you forward, okay?
And then the lights went down, and the white guy said, hey, why don't we all get a little bit more comfortable?
No, that's not. I didn't win at all. After we left there,
I had a feeling. Must have been gas.
After we left there, we went downtown Atlanta, and we went to this really dope lounge, okay? And he wanted me to see the nightlife, see some of the women, and all of that good stuff, okay? So that was good. Yeah. Now my cousin's married, but he put me around so I could see everything, and I did. I saw some bootylicious things. That was good. But it was okay. I knew I didn't get anything that night, didn't get anything done, didn't get any numbers or anything. But I was able, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have these 3 set up for tomorrow, so it's all good anyway. The next day comes. My cousin throws a monkey wrench at me because he has to go to work and and do some stuff with his son. So I'm like, damn, he stays on the outskirts of Atlanta. How am I going to get to see these women? Okay.
Was this pre-Uber?
Maybe so, because it's not even on my mind.
Right.
But even if so, I don't really even have any money for Uber. Okay. I'm totally relying on my cousin this weekend. He talks to his wife, and now I have his wife's car. This brand new car. Okay. Yeah, it's brand new, and
was it a minivan?
Tank full of gas. No, it's a car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice, like I don't know. I think an Infiniti, maybe a Lexus, maybe one of those. They're doing well for themselves. And I go, and so he says, "Yeah, man, do your thing, man. Go explore the city. Do your thing." That's what he's saying. Explore the city.
Do your thing.
Now he don't know I got 3 girls. Like I said, I didn't tell him till later. No,
he didn't suspect.
No,
he didn't respect your game.
No, he didn't know I had any. And so I'm going out. The first one I went to go meet is a girl I went to school with. Okay, now she just got engaged to be married actually. But I get there and she's not talking about nothing. Okay, so that's no problem anyway. I thought there was a chance because we was in class together and things like that. And she's living in Atlanta, and so I tried to set that up, see if it could be something. It wasn't a damn thing. Okay.
Just because you had a couple classes.
I mean, hey man,
hey, she's just gonna spread them. I'm ready.
throwing darts at the board, man. Okay. The second girl is a girl I had met online. This is the first time I could say I was really catfished. Okay.
Boy.
But not totally catfish. It was her, but it wasn't her. And it's weird because we're still young. I'm in my mid-20s at the time. We're still young, but it's like how in this little bit of time does your body and face transform to what it is now? And and we met at a Starbucks. Actually, I remember we met at a Starbucks.
I'm sorry, but I had a big breakfast.
She's like 80 pounds heavier.
Oh man.
She didn't come with any like makeup or filters into the Starbucks. So she just looks completely different.
Maybe she was bulking up to play defensive tackle.
Okay. She looked like she was on drugs, all that stuff. So
she's on drugs too.
So yeah, so that
aren't drug abusers skinny?
So that was dead. Okay.
Dead on arrival.
So I'm over 2. And I was stuck with the Starbucks bill. And Starbucks is not cheap, people, especially when you're broke. Okay.
What did she order? Like a bunch of food at Starbucks?
Yeah. You get the the little lemon cake. You get
that's
tea.
Where the extra 80 came. We got our answer.
I'm on the third girl. For the third,
feeling a little desperate now. I gotta make something happen. Feel a little pressure.
I'm gonna tell you.
All right.
So I'm on the third girl.
Sorry to interrupt.
I go back to the same little lounge bar that we were at the night before.
So it's nightfall now.
It's nightfall now. We go back there. My plan was to go in, but we never even go in. Okay. We go to this parking lot. Now this girl here is fine as shit. She looks better than she does in her pictures. She's like a 12 in the body and like a 6.5, 7 in the face. Now that's for me. I don't get too much better than that. Okay, I have had better than that.
That's
okay?
why the Lord invented doggy.
But she's oh man, just she's excellent, man. She's just fine as fine can get. All right, for me. And so I got her in this car. I get her in my cousin's car, and I don't know whether it's the whatever. She's feeling the ambition. She sees the car. I didn't tell her it's not my car or anything, and all that stuff. And so she's feeling me. She's digging it or whatever. Okay, now.
You're giving her the I'm moving to Atlanta to make a better life for myself.
I'm moving to Atlanta. I got this going on. I got that. I just finished my master's. We're doing this, and she's digging it. Okay, not telling any lies. I'm telling the truth. But whatever. Yeah. I'm kicking it. Now this kicks in is like, okay. Now she's talking. As she's talking, everything goes to blah 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 blah. Because in my mind, I'm like, all right, listen. You're leaving tomorrow. This is Saturday. So I'm like, you're leaving tomorrow morning. You may not even ever see this girl again. Because usually when I'm with a real pretty girl, even sometimes to this day, I get a little clammed up. You know what I mean? You get a little nervous. So I'm coaching myself like, listen, man, the time is now. Just make a move. She gonna say no, and then you never see her again. You're probably never gonna see her again anyhow.
Right.
Let's do something here. Okay. And then my other mind is like, well, you don't have a hotel room. You don't have a house. What are you going to do?
You got your cousin's wife's car.
I got my cousin's wife's car. Fuck it, man. You only live once.
Yeah.
I say, I don't even know how this even came about. But I was like, but I'm going to tell you something. Whenever I'm talking to a girl online, no matter how soon I'm going to see her or how far away, you have to sneak in the sex thing at some point before, not early on, but at some point before you actually meet up in person, just to see where the head is at.
Yeah,
okay. Some kind of way you got to sneak it in the conversation.
Kick
okay.
the tires. Yeah.
And so I allude to one of our prior conversations that we had on that topic. Okay, and then it goes down. Goes right down, right there.
You just brought it up, and she was taking clothes off.
She was open to it, and it started with the head, and I'm laughing because I got on Pink Nina's IG Live earlier. She was like, "All you talk about is head, and all you want is head, and this and that." But that's how I started, and I was able to get head right. That's how it started.
Yeah.
And the whole 9 went down in that car that night.
Wow.
And
did you go to the back seat, or did you work complete front seat?
The head was in the front, the rest was in the back.
Okay, guys, solid.
So unfortunately, we covered the whole car.
Unfortunately, that's the way to do it.
I mean, yeah, but
gotta mark your territory.
I'm in a brand new car, and to this day, neither one knows.
So what? How
they may know now.
So it didn't smell like coochie and dirty balls. Come on, man.
My boss worked 30.
You've been out all
and this
day.
This girl actually, she's one of the two I've ever had. One of the two I've ever had. It smells like water, so it wasn't even like anything like that. It was okay.
Was she a squirter?
No.
Okay, that'd be good for the car.
But I had, maybe she was a squirter. I just wasn't able to produce
it out of her.
Yeah. So that's that. But I had the AC going.
Way to be self-effacing. Maybe.
I would keep it 100 on here, man. I had the AC going, got the windows cracked a little bit. Okay, but yeah, I feel I never felt great about that because my cousin's wife, she's an angel. She's great. She gives me everything. She don't know me from a can of paint. I had never met this woman, never seen this woman, never talked to this woman.
You're defiling her car
a day prior to coming there.
And you're just in there clapping cheeks in her car.
She got to drive her baby around in this car, baby son. My little boy cousin, she got to drive him around in this car. She got her mom. You got to take her to appointments maybe. I don't know.
Boy's going to learn early.
This is how the Browns do it, son. This is how the Browns get it done.
Don't disappoint the lineage.
It's all on you. I don't have any sons, so this is your car to drive from here on out. But yeah, that's part one
That's awesome.
of the story. This is prior to me moving to Atlanta. The rest of the stories are going to be when I actually get to Atlanta.
Did you make any special efforts to clean up the car?
Yeah. You know, you go by.
Roll home with all 4 windows down.
Yeah, you know, you go by the gas station. What was that they had
Maybe
there?
buy some food.
Oh
yeah,
all that stuff. You get the little black thing you put on there. Hey, I went and got you a car wash.
got a garlic sandwich.
Yeah, you try to do some stuff there, man. Try to do some stuff there.
Oh, that's too awesome.
Yeah.
Well played, Bubba. Very nice.
Yeah. And that put such a when I tell you that put such a light like a gaslight under my feet. Like, man, Atlanta really is the place. Like I'm leaving there.
Gaslighting's not really a positive.
It's not. Whatever they put a fire under my foot to get to Atlanta.
My future is here.
That experience there.
Yeah.
I just met some high rollers early in the day. Got some, decent head and some fire punani that night. Okay, I explored the city. Oh, man, I got everything.
I like it. Good.
Yeah.
Got catfish too. Let's not leave that out.
No, I don't want to leave that out, man.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Bubba.
All right.
Always very happy to hear you get laid.
Yeah, there you go, man. Glad I could appease a little bit there. All right, once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all all podcast streaming platforms. Like, share, subscribe. The NBA playoffs are being played. Can you believe that? And the Minnesota Timberwolves extended the series. Okay?
Clinging to life.
My question for you. Who wins this next game? Who's the most pressure on? Which team has the most pressure heading into this game 5 to win this game 5?
Who has the most pressure is clearly Dallas. Minnesota has no pressure, and they should play like they have no pressure because they're basically dead. Anything that they do at this point is just kind of house's money, and I think that's a great place to be if you embrace what your narrative is.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I definitely think Dallas has the pressure on them. It is what it is, but what you saw to me is for the first time in the series, Minnesota's better players sort of outplayed Dallas's better players. Towns actually delivered, hit a couple big threes and down the stretch, and they win the game. I mean, analytically, just let's not lose sight of the fact that these 4 games have been winnable by both teams.
But yeah.
And this is not a
No
situation
blowouts or anything.
where there's blowouts. There's not a situation where there's mismatches. This is a basketball series that's about making plays and hitting shots. And when you do that at a little better rate than the other team, these teams are close enough that you're going to win. And so in that way, game to game, Minnesota should feel pretty good. That they're already, accept that you were beaten and just go play free and see what happens. Don't play with pressure. Dallas, to me, they shouldn't play with pressure either because it's not the thing to do. But I do feel that right now, when they went up 3-0, the presumption is they're going to be in the finals. Now it's 3-1. They still, have a clear upper hand, but you start to do all the dominoes. Oh wait, you lose that game. Now you're 3-2, and now you're, maybe there's some doubt creeps in. Minnesota picks up momentum, and anything could happen. So, that's where we're at in the series. If I had to bet anything of value, I still think, Dallas has 3 chances to win 1 game. 3 chances for their 2 outstanding players to be better than the other guys. And that's going to decide it. So they have the upper hand. They should accept that they have the upper hand. Minnesota, just go play free, play fun, and see what can happen.
Yeah, I disagree with you. I think the most pressure for right now in Game 5 is on the Timberwolves. And that may be a little whatever, taking the easy road or whatever, because, of course, if they lose, they're out. But my point to that is I think the pressure really catches the Mavs if it gets extended to a Game 6. I think the pressure of Mount Everest would be on their backs in a Game 6. But for right now, I think it's still shifted on the Timberwolves. Now, two things a couple of things I took away from that game just really quickly. Number one, the Timberwolves defense was amazing outside of the dumb, silly fouls by Towns. And what amazes me about Towns is, in my opinion, he's just as annoying as Luka, but in a different way. Luka complains to the refs about different things. It doesn't have to be just fouls. It could be anything. He's just complaining all day.
Yeah, he has to complain about everything.
Towns, he complains about every single foul that he commits, about it not being a foul, when it is clearly a foul every single time. And that really bothers me. It's like, what are you looking or seeing or feeling out there? Do you not have any feeling in your hands and your body when you're hitting these people? And they're all not, about 80% of them, it was the vast majority, are dumb, idiotic, silly. You know what I mean? Like, just not needed at that particular time, and you could avoid them.
That cuts to the core of who he is and why he's such a weird, enigmatic guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. He complains and emotionally reacts to stuff that are obvious calls.
Yeah.
And you ask the question, like, why? Like, do you not realize this? Do you play in such a weird mental space that you're kind of like playing and deceiving yourself at the same time? Like, what is that all about? Like, I don't think it's a good thing at all, and it's really bizarre to watch. I mean, to me, like a guy that's like locked in, he's in control of himself.
Yeah.
Like in his game, and he sees everything. Like, I mean, great players being locked in, they always talk about it. Everything slows down, feels like it's in slow motion. You're just playing and you're not thinking, and it's like, like that's where you're supposed to be. That's your flow state, but he's almost never in that, and he's almost in the delusional state, which it just really like. I'd be fascinated on a psychological test of that guy. I just think he's really, like, I don't like him as a player. He's talented, he's skilled, but I hate his mentality.
Yeah.
I hate his reactions. But it would be fascinating to kind of study them closer and say, what is going on?
He's talented and skilled, but I wouldn't want him on my team.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Ant deserves another dog with him.
Yeah.
And Cat is just not that. He's just a talented big guy.
Yeah.
And that's for sure. Now, thirdly and lastly, I love watching Kyrie Irving. I think he's an incredible basketball player. But he's just one of those guys that have been many throughout the history of the NBA who is just vastly overrated by the masses. They put him in this category that he just does not belong in. And,
what category is that? Because, like, I almost hold him in his own category. Me. He's extremely skilled, but I think that, the bulk of his career has been marked by being injury prone, by not always being a connected teammate, and really kind of playing up to his talent level. And that's where I characterize. That's what he is for me. And I actually feel like presently this particular playoff run, he's been as connected with his team as I think I've ever seen him. And I think his play has really been fantastic.
His play has been really good. But his play has not been the play of the elite guys. And the masses believe that Kyrie belongs in the elite class, and he just does not. My statement for Kyrie is he's the best number 2 man in the league. I believe he belongs in the tier of Jamal Murray, Tyrese Maxey, Anthony Davis, all of these guys that are number 2s on their team. That's the class that Kyrie belongs in. Because he shouldn't be compared to the Lukas, the Nikola Jokic's and whatever, Anthony Edwards and these guys, for various different reasons. Number one, he doesn't have that skill set. He cannot carry a team. We've seen that movie before. And number two, he does have a level. His inconsistent play, his bad games. Last game was a bad game, but it was god awful. Like think about it. Luka had a bad game last game, and Kyrie had a bad game last game. Kyrie played immensely worse. Like it was, like Luka still had a good game. He had that basically 30, 15, and 12 or whatever the case, whatever it is. I know I'm off a number here, a number there. Okay, like that last turnover by Kyrie. The game
pass into the middle.
Yeah, that was awful. Game what was that? Game 2 or game 3? He misses 2 free throws back to back. Well, he missed 4 in the entire game.
Yeah.
He missed 2 free throws back to back with like 30 or 40 seconds to go. If it wasn't for Luka's game winner, they lose that game.
Yeah.
And they lose it because Kyrie just missed 2 back-to-back free throws. Okay, and then Luka gets the stop. Not only does Luka first, he got the stop on the defensive play when he broke up the alley-oop. He did the stuff that I'll tell you that the centers do. It's just one time. Luka only did it one time. But he stopped the penetration of the guy who was making the layup. And then he also at the same time, simultaneously at the same play, he stopped the alley-oop. Then after they got the stop, he went down and hit the game winner. But, if Kyrie hits those 2 free throws, they're not in that predicament where they even need that from him. He has that sprinkle without, even though you say he's fantastic, he's playing he's playing really good, but he's had like quite a few really bad moments in this playoff run, which is cool for a number 2. If people put him in that realm of thought, like Jamal Murray still played, really good in that playoff series. But even him, he had bad games. He had, if Jokic plays to that level, the Denver Nuggets, they may not even escape the first round. They never win the championship. Like it's levels to these, and Kyrie has never been at the elite level. Is my point.
Well, I agree with you that he's a number 2, and I mean it's to me it's quite obvious. I mean, the greatest successes of his career has come playing alongside LeBron and playing alongside Luka, and that's not really disputed. I also will say this though, like a great number 2, like, makes you think at times that he might be the number 1, but he's not.
Mm-hmm.
There were moments when you watched the Jordan Bulls, and you thought, "Damn, Pippen really does, damn near everything." Like there's moments when you're watching the Nuggets and Murray's hitting big shot after big shot, and it's like, gosh, does this work without him? Is he more important?
Mm-hmm.
And Kyrie's had those flashes too, like and I think that's when a number 2, a guy who's truly a number 2, is in the right environment, that's exactly the way it should look like.
Yeah.
Because they're that talented that they'll make you think at a certain moment or a certain glance that they might be the number 1 or that they're the same. I know with Pippen and Jordan, sometimes it was like they're the best 2 players in basketball.
Yeah.
Because you felt that. And that's the beauty of the 1-2 dynamic when it's right. And I agree with you completely. He's a number 2. He's an elite number 2. I do think I would say this in the modern era, we have to look at like so many younger basketball people are immersed in like the trainer and the skill set and in particular like the flashy skill set. And that's what Kyrie is, like the embodiment of. And so when you look at him play and you're some guy that's, 18, 16 years old, you got a trainer and you're trying to replicate a lot of the shit that he does, like he becomes your guy.
Yeah.
And his manner of play resonates with you. And again, this is another thing I kind of feel like I bring up quite often. There's the relatability. In an NBA setting, there's nothing extraordinary about Kyrie's physicality.
Mm-hmm.
He's a below average height NBA player. He's quick, but not the quickest guy. He can leap, and he's not the greatest leaper in anywhere. And so his equalizer, difference maker, is the skill set. And you got to realize that like all these clowns who are 15, 16, 17 working with their trainer who aren't 5-star guys, that's what they see themselves as. That's why he resonates with them. Because most of these guys are 5'11", 6 foot, maybe, whatever. None of these guys are 6'8" and 240 like Luka or, 7'3" like Wemby. Like Kyrie's feels relatable, that you can take some things from his game that can work in your skill set, your size set against people that you might be playing against. And I think that that's part of what maybe almost like magnifies his his value or his stature in the league with certain people. But I go to like anybody who knows what they're looking at realizes that he's not stable or consistent enough to be a number one, and all of the best moments of his career have been being the number two to a completely elite number one. And there's no shame in that. He's found, and I think the Dallas thing, he's literally found, it's similar to what he had with LeBron. He's found his perfect environment to be himself.
No, yeah, for sure. And I don't want to ignore Terrence's message here. Luka had missed a free throw at the end of that 3-point play.
Yeah, fuck Luka.
That could have been a 4-point play that could have changed game 4 also.
Yeah.
But, it's an opinion, and it's my opinion. I mean, he just hit a fucking crazy 3-point shot. They're down 6. You know what I mean? They're down 6 with like a couple seconds to go, and that was just an amazing fucking 3-point play.
I didn't even think that the foul was justified.
Yeah. So I just don't think that missed free throw was as impactful at all. And even if he makes it, you're down 2 with a couple seconds to go. They get the ball. You know what I mean? Like you still have to count on them to miss a free throw or to not get that wide open layup that Nas got anyway. So even if he would have made the free throw, you're down 2, and then Nas gets the free throw, you're up 4. So I mean, I understand it's a point to be made. Doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. But I understand. I just don't think
am big though, and like a lot like playing games to the end.
Yeah.
I'm really big on, and all those little situations matter.
Yeah, for sure.
And so like I'm not saying you blame the loss on the missed free throw, but it's a little different. If that margin's 1 point different on the ensuing possession, it's played a little differently, and that's why I was arguably obsessive, but like when FSU was kind of in the shit, not Willie shit. This was like late Bobby Bowden shit. I would literally like have a notebook and I would document the game as it's happening, almost like a play-by-play, and I would write the game that didn't get played. And what I would look at is all of the stupid turning points that derailed possessions. And we were so bad. And one of the reasons why we were so bad is because we had a propensity at that time. Like, you'd have an offensive possession, like, gain 2 first downs, then, holding call, offside, out of field goal range, punt. That's your possession. Mm-hmm. Like, and then like whatever. Then the other team would be coming down, 3rd and 15. Pass interference, Florida State, first down, they get go on to get a touchdown. And it's like all those little things, like the game changes with each one of them. And like when you're truly doing your job as a team player, coach, whatever, you're kind of constantly recalibrating and adapting to the exact situation that you're in, play by possession. And you're living in that moment and making those plays, so you don't like necessarily get affected by it. But when you look at it in the big picture, a lot of those things change the game.
Yeah.
That missed free throw, that turnover, chance to tie the game. Now you're down 5. All that are huge swings when you look at it, when it's done.
It matters. In my opinion, it just didn't matter at all. But that doesn't mean I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
It just kind of is what it is. Now they're moving to they're moving to this game 5, and we'll see, man. It's not a secret. I've been a fucking, Luka guy since he came into the league. And now, I think he's the second best player in the league, right behind Jokic. And I know you're not a Luka guy at all. So it's going to be important. And I just think it's so impressive what he's doing, like he's playing against the number 1 defense in the league, and it's not even close. Like Minnesota is the number 1 defense in the league by a wide margin throughout the regular season and the playoffs. So it's not like it was a drop off from their performance in their defensive performance. It's been the same. And for him to just come out here and be producing at this level, and it's just fucking amazing to me. And it'll be interesting to see if they can close it out, because Boston has, they're going to have all this advantage of rest, and you got Porzingis. Now the finals start when the finals start, so it's not like other playoff series where it depends on when this team loses and then they'll go to that next whatever Tuesday or Thursday. The playoffs start the finals start next Thursday, no matter how long this Dallas and Timberwolves series takes. So
if it ends tomorrow, it's starting a week away.
Exactly.
If this got drug out to Game 7, then it begins like 2 or 3 days after.
Exactly. They don't have a
I just realized that was kind of funky.
Yeah. So Dallas in particular, they need the rest because Luka's banged up, and then you have the lively guy, the rookie center. He's out. They can utilize that rest. You know what I mean? Where Boston, like I said, they're getting the rest for Porzingis, and those guys. Quick take on the Celtics here. We haven't talked about them in a little while. A lot of people are talking about, but Boston hasn't played anybody. They're getting the free road to the finals, and that is what it is. You can make that case. All these injuries, whatever the case may be. And we get on Tatum a lot for him not being the superstar that he portrays himself to be. He's going to be the top 3 player and the MVP and this and that. You're not that. But I'm going to tell you what, those guys are immensely valuable. They're always available. I don't believe in the best ability is availability. I don't believe in that. Because I think you need other abilities. I think other abilities are important, more important than just available. You know what I mean? Being available. But those guys are immensely talented, and they're always there. And not only are they always there, they're always fucking fully healthy. There's nothing ever wrong with them. They don't have a lingering hamstring issue, a wrapped up knee, a sore ankle. Like never. Never. Yeah. Both of them. Yeah. Jalen and Jason, they're always 1,000% healthy throughout the entire playoffs and regular season.
They've literally, for almost the entire duration of their career, made reasonably deep playoff runs too.
Yeah.
They've played a lot of basketball.
So I, whether it's they've been blessed from the heavens or whether they're doing something where they're taking care of their bodies and that's what's leading to this, I just refuse to knock them because they've been knocking off unhealthy teams. Fuck you. I mean, whatever. Those guys are just always there. You have to give them that. Give them something.
Well, I know you're not big on that. Just like the availability as a talent or whatever. But when you're comparing things and the margins are small, it becomes a factor in it. Yeah. That dudes are always healthy and never compromised. That's a big thing. And if you look at it on the other side, how many careers do we look at differently because of persistent injuries, persistent medical
My
problems?
guy Embiid is one.
Well, I mean,
and then there's thousands of them. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, there might not be a bigger example, than Bill Walton, who just passed away.
Yeah.
And he was a guy that just had tons of problems.
Yeah.
It felt like he only might have had 2 or 3 healthy seasons, and when he was healthy, he was completely elite. And it is when you look at an athlete's career, the fact that you played 70 plus games every year of your career and did it at a high level. I mean, it means a lot to that. And neither one of those guys are sexy picks for maybe Hall of Fame credentials or things like that, but they just keep stacking this consistent resume of performance that at some point can't be denied.
Yeah.
When you get to the end of this and you look, if these trends continue with them, if they maybe get a title this year, you have to look at those guys in a certain light that, for a decade they just had Boston in the playoffs, went to the finals, won a title, whatever the final outcome is, and you can't deny it versus so many other careers.
And they have so many unique situations. For example, one is even if they lose this championship, first of all, that front office is elite, so they wouldn't do this. But even if they lose this championship, there's not a question to whether you should break this tandem up. That's I know we talked about that 2 to 3 years, 2 years ago or so. But when you look at it now, like another 2 completely healthy seasons, you'll be an idiot to trade Brown or Tatum for another guy where all of the other stars at some point gets injured, at some point they disappoint. You just be idiotic. Like you have to ride it out. If they never win, it just wasn't in their cards. But there's no one else that makes sense unless you're getting like somebody that's literally not being traded, like Wemby or something. I'm talking about being realistic here as well.
Yeah.
There just isn't anyone. That's number one. Number two, they're uniquely in a situation where, honestly, if you really take a step back and you've been honest with yourself, I know Jason Tatum is the marquee player and that's who was on the pamphlets and this and that. They're really about the same level of player. I mean, it just is what it is. Jaylen Brown is fucking phenomenal. Not only that, he's been the better player in the vast majority of these playoff runs. He's been the best player for them this playoff run. He was the best one in the finals against Golden State. He was the best. Like he's arguably, and Jason Tatum has been a slightly better player in the regular seasons. So I just think, and Jaylen Brown is the better defender. They're a same level of player, and they don't have any friction. Okay, seemingly.
Well, I don't know that's fair to say because there's most of the time they've been in this situation, there's been a narrative that should the Celtics do this or do that, and I think at times it's trickled into them. But I think a credit to both of them that every year they really don't let it affect how they perform.
Well, I know there isn't any real friction because Jaylen Brown was just a free agent and decided to re-up for 5 years and become the NBA highest paid player. Like guys, like when there's real friction, Shaq, Kobe, like somebody's leaving.
Yeah.
There's, you know what I mean? Whatever, Ray Allen, Rondo, somebody's leaving. Like, that's just the case of the NBA. It's so easy to, and then also you're a free agent and you decide Jason Tatum is a free agent after this year. If he reads up like that, there's no issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all intents and purposes, he will. So I just think that is, that's another unique situation to where I don't think there's throughout the course of their careers it just hasn't been any issues yet.
Yeah.
All right. And then thirdly, like I kind of alluded to it at first, third and lastly, that front office is so phenomenal, putting the pieces around them, and being able to put so many pieces around them. I don't fucking know how they're able to do it. I don't know how you're able to identify, keep, and get Derek White, Drew Holiday, Porzingis, Horford. Like, how? What the fuck are you doing? Yeah. How are these other, you know what I mean? Like Milwaukee, I understand. I know we talked about it before, but
Horford, they lost him and they got him back.
Got him back. That was a unique situation because Horford left for more money with us. He robbed us, and then he says, "Well, you know what, baby? I'm not this level of player. I'll go back and take your cheap price after I robbed this team for $135 million." Well,
but I see Horford, his career path is very illustrative, I think, of what you're getting at, though. Like he went to another contending team, and it didn't work out, and getting back to Boston, like he, that was a thing. Like he was comfortable going back there, and he knew the situation, so like he wasn't turned off in any way. So it kind of affirms what you were saying, is that like there is this healthy culture, and obviously the two central figures are Brown and Tatum.
Yeah.
In that it felt comfortable to draw a guy like that back.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd honestly be funny if Marcus Smart ever became available again.
He went back as off the bench role player. Yeah. I'm sure.
I think so many things are important there, and I think that this is an underrated thing. When you have a healthy culture and you're about player development, I think when you get these various guys in, like you get the best of them.
Yeah.
I don't, Derek White, he developed a bit in San Antonio, but I think like his time in Boston has been about like continuing development, and he's better every year.
Let me ask you this. Hopefully you have too much more because I'm about to turn this the conversation a little bit. So Derek White. So we had a we of course we put our clips up on social media, and we had a guy today comment about Derek White, right? So we put out the thing about who the Orlando Magic should get, and we had a commenter, Harpo. He said that instead of DeJounte Murray being the perfect piece for the Orlando Magic, he believes that the Magic should go get Derek White. Now, they're in similar situations. The difference is Derek White only has one more year on his deal, and then he becomes an unrestricted free agent. Murray has multiple years. So you have to give up stuff to get White, and then he has to get paid. He hasn't had the big payday yet.
Right.
So this success and the numbers he's putting up, you anticipate he's going to want a big deal. Which player should the Magic be more interested in, Derek White or DeJounte Murray? And then I'll tell you what I said.
Well, I mean, the way you led into this, like with contract being a consideration, I do think that it probably slants to Murray because you have him for a longer term without having to pay him. But I think it's a more interesting question if you take the contract out and you say,
Just
okay,
player for player.
Player for player. And that's where you kind of have like, Derek White's growth and Derek White's heavy involvement in a winning positive culture.
Matters.
Does that matter? I think DeJounte Murray is probably a more talented, arguably better player in a vacuum. But I do think that Derek White and his time with the Celtics and kind of being in these big playoff moments, I do think that pulls it a lot more even, and I think you could fairly say, like, yeah, I think Derek White might be a better fit for this group of guys and kind of guiding them how to win and be tougher.
My take on that was, and that is a fair point, but my point was you're taking such a gamble because we haven't seen White in a lead guard role. He's the fifth option on this Celtics team, if that. You know what I mean? Fifth or sixth option. So he gets to play so freely, and he's playing off of two stars. All of his threes are wide open shots. He's not creating shots for others. Others are creating shots for him. He goes to Orlando, he's going to need to be the lead guard. Okay, maybe not the best player, Paolo is, but he'll need to be the lead guard. In my opinion, I think they need someone to come over there. The problem, part of the problem with the Magic is making life easier for Paolo. Okay, and it's not to say Derek White can't do it, but we haven't seen it, and you have to add the contract piece in because what you're doing is you're going to be paying a hefty price for a guy that you've never seen in this role in this capacity before. Yeah. For any team. So somebody is going to take that gamble, and you're either going to be wrong or right. We were wrong on the Jalen Brunson thing. So, yeah, of course, Derek White can go to the Magic and become a fucking whatever. Yeah. Who knows? But there are a ton of players who are on these, great teams who go and get money, and they are bad. Okay, but Al Horford was just one we just talked about. He went to Celtics.
And that's why I kind of started that point by kind of praising the environment of the Celtics.
Yeah.
And it's funny like, and I go back to Brad Stevens, who's the central figure in that front office now, but he was the coach for a good bit of time, and he was the coach before they got kind of good. And one of the amazing things that he got good basketball out of like so many random dudes. Mm-hmm. Like, Jordan Crawford played really good ball. Mm-hmm. Isaiah Thomas was at his peak as a human being.
He was the MVP finalist.
That says something when you could put together a team. And to me, Brad Stevens, it is a loss to the game of basketball that he's upstairs and not on the sideline. I think he's one of the better basketball coaches that have come through, and you can ask nothing more of a coach than to take what they're given, figure out the best way to use it, build confidence, and give them a chance to win night after night. And he's literally done that at all of his coaching spots, college, and then even with some Celtics teams that did not have much in the way of talent. And he was making, fringe stars out of dudes that were like borderline out of the league. And that, and Derek White, again, I know he's not competitive in coaching, but that could easily be a case with Derek White where he's really doesn't, outside of that culture, that dynamic, he may not have enough to do it. And when you say that, like, and it is significant that the role that's expected. Now, if a guy with his resume, pedigree, whatever, comes to a team like Orlando and he's, going to be like the sixth man or seventh man, and maybe it's a little later in his career and that's all he can do, but he's going to be a steady voice of reason and whatever, that can work.
Yeah.
But easily, if he comes down here with the expectation of demanding a bit more from him on the court, if he doesn't deliver there, the leadership loses its credibility.
Yeah.
And those other things that you're hoping you're going to get, you don't get.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. Lastly here, the last thing we'll talk about here is the Clippers. They extend Tyrone Lue, okay, making him one of the NBA highest paid coaches, things of that nature there. Okay. Now, the Clippers are at they're at a stake in the road here. They're about to move into their brand new facility. Okay, they extended Kawhi a little earlier in the season. Now they have to make decisions on Paul George, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. Okay, so they have to pay all of those guys. They want to keep Paul George. They want to keep the band together, but they don't want to pay him at the price, at their asking price. Okay. Weirdly enough, I know that Westbrook and Paul are West Coast Cali kids. I'm not 100% sure on James. Are you?
James is a West Coast guy.
He is. He's a West Coast guy. So you got all those guys. So all those guys probably prefer to stay on the West Coast. We know that Russ and PG would. Now, from the Clipper side, I think we understand that why you extend Tyronn Lue.
I think you just nailed it. Really, if you look at it this way, I'm not a huge Ty Lue guy. I know you hold him in higher regard than I do, but at this point, I have to concede he's a respected NBA coach.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be a ton of clear upgrades over what he brings to the bench.
Yeah.
And like you said, the business pressures of the new arena and packing seats and all that, their best pathway forward is to secure the group that they have. And based on the rules of the NBA business, the first domino that they could strike was this.
Yeah.
You lock in Ty Lue. Now you go to Paul George, and I know there's been some, he wants more than they want to give or whatever, but now you're coming to him and say, hey, here's our plan. We locked down Ty Lue. We're not rebuilding. We're not giving up on you guys. We want you to be a part of it, and I know we're going to ask you to make a sacrifice, but you're a Cali guy. You believe in what we have, this, that, and the other thing. Do you really want to relocate to Philly or whatever in your mid-30s or whatever the hell's going on? And that's your pitch. And so this was the first thing that they could tangibly do and lock down to confirm that view of how they want to move forward.
And that's because they backed themselves into a corner. I mean, we screamed a year ago, 2 years ago, tear this thing up.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not worth it. These guys are going to get hurt. While they still had cachet and value. Now they backed themselves so far into a corner to where they're moving into this new arena, and you have no other choice because you have no picks, you have no money. Even if you don't re-sign these guys, you don't have any money. Okay, yeah. So you back yourself into a corner where the absolute only thing you can do is re-sign these guys and just cross your fingers.
And bear in mind, and again, when you're driven, here's the thing: when you're driven by commercial purpose, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you could potentially orchestrate a sign and trade or some moves that could bring good value.
Yeah.
Kind of like the reverse of what happened with OKC and Shea and Paul George. But that is not going to feel sexy right now.
Yeah.
Whatever that move looks like, you may win the move, but you're going to win it in year 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You're not going to win it in year 1. And when they're under that commercial pressure, They've got to make decisions that are for right now.
Yeah.
And that's the corner that you're backed into.
Yeah, like sign and trade Paul George for Nas Reed and a pick here or whatever. Like that, yeah, that's not sexy enough. Yeah, down the line there may be a point where. Now, for Ty Lue, on Ty Lue's side, I don't see why you take this deal. I just don't see why. Because as you said, he's a respectable coach. If you enter the coaching free agency, you automatically become the most heralded coach that anybody looking for a coach. You automatically move up to number one. Hey, JJ, move out the way. You know what I mean? You automatically move to number one just because of the cachet and the value you hold right now. Okay? Now, what does that value look like after 2 to 3 more losing seasons? After Kawhi's knee just literally falls off the bone and they go to a non-playoff team and all of that stuff, I don't know where his coaching cachet and his value go. I think right now is the highest it'll be. You control all of your cards. It can't be about the money because any team that needs a coach that wants to win, you know, and then not only that, you look at the potential teams a year from now. If Milwaukee loses have one more losing season, you know, that's a way more attractive job. If Philly that's more of an attractive job. Like Boston loses this year, halfway through next year, we already know after 1 week they'll get rid of a coach. They don't give a damn. You know what I mean? So why take this long 5-6 year deal and lock yourself in, you know, to this? What is this? If you're Lue,
I understand that, and usually I'm kind of on the side of that, of him like exploring the market, but I don't know that there's a job right now that's going to be
that's more
available
attractive.
That's particularly attractive.
Yeah, but you don't have to take the long deal.
Well, again, the long deal, even if they want to fire him, like
it provides
they gotta
security.
pay.
Yeah,
like nobody else. Like to me, there's a view of this where you look at there's no automatic like ready to win job that's open right now that I can walk into, and with that being the case, I'm going to just take the long-term money and I'll ride it out here, you know. And again, I do know I'm respected. I also believe in myself, which he probably is a significant part of this, and that either he'll figure it out with the Clippers or they're going to have to pay him a bunch to go away, and then he can reset the market. And if that's in 1 or 2 years, you know, he can look at it and be, you know, like, okay, I'll just figure it out then, and I'll see what the options are, you know, in that market 1 or 2 years from now, what jobs are available. You know, maybe the Celtics job's available. I'm not particularly fond of the Philly or the, you know, because I'm on record. We've already seen the best of Giannis, and now you got Dame Lillard there. I don't know that job gets better than it already was, as far as that goes. So I'm not sold on that. And you know, just Philadelphia, it's interesting, but I mean, again, you're there's a lot of
what ifs,
a lot of you know baggage in that closet as far as failure goes. And yeah, and again, you know, Embiid, again, he's seldom healthy in the playoff. Like, there's a lot of stuff you look at, and it's like, that's not much different than what I've got here. A bunch of dudes that aren't healthy.
Because it's only one dude.
Yeah,
and at least that one dude
really
will play.
guy.
He'll play healthy,
Yeah.
and he'll give you 32 and 12 on one leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean.
But still, I
It's
do
not
agree with
pristine.
that
It's not
point.
pristine.
Yeah, I do agree with that point. It's yeah.
So, I think that's where you're looking.
And still, at the end of the day, it's not open. It's not available.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know. And I mean, I would imagine, you know, that a guy like Ty Lue, like that there's, you know, that you know, whether him or like there would be some inquiries made, like, you know, hey, if our job becomes available, how interested would you be?
Yeah.
There's got to be some talk. I mean, he's got to have some level of information.
Yeah.
You know, when he's making these decisions that, you know, that hey, this might be open, sit tight, you know, whatever. Because it really wasn't I mean, the Clippers' incentive to lock him down and create this vision of what we were doing going into our new building was much higher than his individual pressure to lock down a deal.
I think so.
It could have suited him to play a little bit further into the offseason and see what happens.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. All righty. Well, next week no matter what, we'll know what the finals matchup will be on next week's show.
We'll be on the eve of the finals.
That's right. That's right. So we'll talk about that and some other stuff
Yes.
next week on the bench.
We're out.